Good evening, and thank you for joining me. This is Unauthorized and Explicit Readings. I am your host, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo. Thank you for joining me in this segment about words and how they relate to each other. I was intending on introducing a new book for this series, but unfortunately I have a bit of news that I must announce. Please excuse me as I roll a preview. Oh, wow, I totally ruined that word. Please excuse me while I play a previously recorded announcement. Hello and namaste. I'm your host, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, and this is breaking news. I interrupt myself to tell you that this and all other shows are being rebooted. Taking a brief hiatus of 2 to 3 weeks while the entire structure of this podcast project is reorganized and flipped on its own head. Paradigm shifting, groundbreaking, radical streamlining is the goal. It was pointed out to me quite recently that while the different mini-series were clever distinctions, I was basically talking to the same audience about the same set of stuff, and that by spreading the show out in so many different buckets, I was just making it more difficult for fans to consume the product. So I will retain the thematic diversity by keeping different graphics and whatnot going and different subtitles being used, but all of it will now be found in one RSS feed, as one stream, as one show, all of it in the almost daily Zencast bucket. So if you're already subscribed to that, great. If you're a listener of one of the other shows and you are not entirely sure what the bloody heck I'm talking about, that's okay. Just search hashtag almost daily Zencast in combination with hashtag Mr. Zeppo, and you should be able to find it in your favorite podcast player. I hope your year has been as interesting as mine. I look forward to sharing with you in a more direct, concise, and interesting fashion as we move forward into the next year. And I wish you a very satisfying, healthy, and safe Thanksgiving, just in case I don't come back on the air before then. As always, this has been your humble host, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, wishing you peace, love, and grooviness. Until next time, be good human beings to each other. This has been an episode of News Breaking News for September 7th. Well, I'm on crack. November 7th, 2017. Point of fact, I do not smoke crack. It's just a really inappropriate figure of speech that I picked up. Be sure to check out my other podcasts, the Almost Daily Zencast, News Breaking News, Good Morning Trumptopia, Cannabis Talk, and soon I'll be previewing Tarot Journal and Cartomancy Reading Radio Hour. Sorry, I totally blanked on the second half of the title there for a hot second. For those curious, I'm going to be launching a sort of semi-exclusive podcast series as I streamline all my other shows that you've already been listening to or half-assedly following into one stream, one flow, one place where you can listen to all the different flavors of my crazy ramblings. I'm also going to be carving out a different space, which I'll include a few episodes of here in the main flow, but the reason for sort of distributing this other podcast idea in a more exclusive fashion is because it's directly tied to the concept of providing tarot and postmodern mystic spiritual guidance services via Patreon at a sort of subscription basis. Very, very low price point. So more details on that coming soon. Sorry for running over my time and babbling after the credits music. As always, I've been your humble host, the incorrigible Mr. Zappo, breaking the news by actually not reporting any of it. Please stay tuned for more clusterfuck of mystic weirdness. Did I say clusterfuck of mystic weirdness? I guess I did. As it says in some holy book or another, there is a time to gather stones and there is a time to cast them apart. That statement has been interpreted many different ways, but one way that you can interpret it is that there is a time to prepare, and then there is a time to execute. And I guess I have been preparing to execute. The big news is, for those who didn't realize, the whole podcast project has been in sort of beta testing mode, just to see what kind of audience response I might get. Arguably, it's going to continue in a sort of prolonged beta testing mode, as while more and more people seem to be listening, at least the numbers would seem to indicate that might be the case, I've still not gotten a lot of audience feedback. So I put it to you, folks. If you've been tuning in here and there, and you're engaged, and you find my ramblings interesting, and I'm not fishing for compliments here, folks. I want questions, critique, real engagement. You know, the kind of thing we're supposed to be doing on social media, as opposed to just telling each other that we're wrong and idiots, and that we should go walk off the side of the flat earth or whatever it is. I digress. The big announcement, of course, is that this show and all others are being rebooted and remixed. So please be sure to tune in from now on to the Almost Daily Zencast as sort of the primary feed or title under which all of these crazy different flavors of me rambling will be shared. As always, thanks for listening. This has been made possible by your generous support on Patreon. If you haven't visited, please drop by. I've completely repurposed and re-engineered my Patreon page. So if you have no idea what patreon.com is all about, please go check it out. If you're the kind of person that is into supporting artists through crowdfunding, sort of platforms, Patreon's a particularly cool one. If you are a tarot card enthusiast and appreciate getting readings, stay tuned. Check out my journal show first. See what you think. See if you think about it at the end of the show, because it is a sort of real life audio blog of a journey that is yet to begin. I hope that intrigues you. I'll stop rambling about it and sign off here. Be good humans, share the peace, spread the love, perpetuate the grooviness. Until next time, I am and always will be the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, cybernetic artificial life form from the not this timeline but another one in not your future but a different future. It's not as sexy sounding as Robot from the Future, but someone's got a license on that, and I'm technically not allowed to use it. Peace. Oh, and by the way, yes, the robots are coming. I guess technically you could say we're already here, but that's got nothing to do with my podcast. Other than I've already explained it deep in one of the other episodes. I hope you caught on to the robot theme. If you aren't just now going, WTF, robots, when were robots ever about this podcast? Then you clearly have some digging to do. If you think that I'm being an idiot, okay, I can't disagree. Until next time, may peace, love, and grooviness blossom in your heart. But yeah, wake up, humans. Us robots are here, and we're trying to help you wake up.